Hello friends, my name is Otter, and today we got a fat tire electric bike. It is the M1 Pro from Aipas. So the translation with some of these foreign brands may be saying the name wrong. So I didn't look too deep into this one. What does stick out to me is fat tires. So what that means is we got to go to the beach and step through. So if you're short or tall, this thing will work. So I just put the battery in and it is a heavy girl. Get into all the specs later, but let's go ride this thing. So it does come with fenders, lights, and a bunch of doodads. But I took them all that stuff off so it will fit on the bike rack. Because the bike rack I have clamps onto the tires. Ideally you have a center post mounted bike rack in a fake top tube thing. So carrying this bike isn't going to be particularly friendly because of the weight and the design, but riding it is going to be friendly. So I didn't want to embarrassingly show you the first time I loaded it up, but we'll load it up later. So the bike appears to be pretty stable when we're going on the flat ground. I'm going to hit a couple speed bumps. I'm not sure if this bike rack is rated for the weight of the bike, but we'll have to find that out. So with the fender on, you have to squeeze into the fender and cause damage to it. So any fendered bike is a problem. Any step-through bike is a problem when it comes to carrying. I'll weigh the bike later so you can get the exact weight. This is a pretty high-end, heavy-duty bike rack, so it did stand up to this monstrosity of a bike. Well, let's get it off of there. So the first thing we're gonna do, straight out of the box, is get this thing nice and grimy and sandy and slam all the air out of the air tires. For this girl's maiden voyage, we're getting out on the sand, exactly where it belongs. So with that little bit of pressure in the tires, it's gonna be no good on the pavement. But right away, woo, plenty of traction. Those flat tires. I totally forgot that this bike has a rear shock. Combined with those super fat tires with almost no air in it, it's actually a really plush ride through the bumps. So it's obviously not a super high-end mountain bike shock with expensive internals, but it does dampen the blow. 4-inch wide tires alone are quite a bit of suspension. So a little test run done, go a little bit faster and do some carving. It is a truly incredible experience how much traction comes out of those 4-inch wide, 26-inch tires when you deflate them down to like 3 psi. This thing is a drifting traction machine in the sand. To understand the air pressure, your tires are the first part of the suspension system. So this bike with 3 psi in the tires feels like it has massive shocks on it and gives that super smooth ride. And we can just have fun and drift around the beach. So this bike has an incredible level of traction with the right air pressure combined with this rear shock, it really does help having some kind of movement in the linkage back there. Throttle, but it's so powerful. With me like ghost pedaling, barely pedaling, it's like not even really that easy. Alright. This is what fat tire electric bikes are all about. They're about making your own way. You don't necessarily need a trail. There's literally no terrain on earth except for quicksand that will stop this bike. So I'm just kind of making my own trail through here before I link up into the main part. So this is the rock garden. The tires are a little bit low from riding on the sand. Now we're gonna hit the rock garden. So I just did the river cruise, and I wish I could have left the fenders on because my butt is completely soaked. So the tires, I was at 4 PSI for that part of the ride. So I'm gonna put a little bit more pressure back in. So definitely not as fun coming back on the pavement. So it's about 8 PSI in the tires. Let's go try it in the sand and see if it's as fun. Oh boy, we need the brakes. So it just doesn't have that traction. Oh, so much more sketchy. Fenders would have been a nice touch, as I'm totally soaked all the way through, but it's the only thing that would fit on my bike rack without it. So super stoked it does come with fenders for you. So it's probably 70 pounds. It's a little bit heavy. After a pretty fun adventure on the M1 Pro Aipas bike, I did a little bit of research. So according to the internet, they've been around since 2013 building affordable electric bikes. This has been my favorite fat tire electric bike I've ever rode because of this. We have full suspension. Now this isn't like that kind of full suspension, but it definitely helps. The bike features 4-inch wide 26-inch tires, so they're not like tremendously fat, but they were plenty wide enough during my adventure yesterday. The bike features an 800-watt battery. If you're not aware, that is pretty large. 1000 watt is like kind of the maximum amount of battery you can fit in here. So 800 is definitely on the larger side. It does feature a slow charger. This is a slow charger for sure. You get what you pay for here. When the tires were deflated to about 4 PSI, I didn't have any problem with the brakes. When the tires are fully inflated, it doesn't have the best brakes out there. They're cable actuated brakes. But you always kind of get what you pay for here. It's a sub $1,000 bike. The bike is designed, it's funny because the first thing I did was take it on the sand. And then I was reading the marketing and it was like, this thing rocks in the snow. So it's the middle of winter. It's a very warm winter. I cannot wait to take this thing out on the snow. Just gotta wait for it to snow around here. So there it is, guys. Pretty affordable. 800-watt battery, 110 newton meters of torque, 4-inch wide tires. Characterized by semi-full suspension action right there, but really deflating the tires is what gives you all that magicness.